we've got less than 10 game weeks until the Premier League comes to an end, and that means the season is actually really winding down, and it's been pretty well so far. But in the space of the next 6 game weeks, there's still a lot to happen, a lot of predictions to come. And of course, as we always do, myself and Victor will preview our best picks for what we think will happen in game week 32. And this one, actually, on paper, most of the predictions seem pretty straightforward. But yeah, Victor, what are your best straight win options for the weekend?
Yeah, for outrights, I'm looking, and yeah, I again, you're not gonna like this, but I'm looking at Arsenal v Brentford. Not exactly an outright, but rather a double chance of Brentford or draw.
Yeah, it's
The odds
possible.
are the odds are at 230 for that, so it's not particularly short, but the odds for an Arsenal outright, they're in what I always call red flag territory for a home team. They're around 160. So sure, they're high on confidence after Bandit like Declan and everything else that happened in midweek. But we often see surprises in games involving teams that were in the Champions League in midweek. And I
Yeah.
think that there's a fair chance of this happening here. I think there's a fair chance of Arsenal not winning this one.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
If I may add, Victor, I think also because Arteta is going to rest a lot of players as much as he can at this point because of the big game in Spain. So I think a couple of names will be rested. To be fair, a
yeah, that
couple of names will be rested.
there is a strong possibility of that, but at the same time, I think it's not like you're already 3-0 up. Do you really need to rest all of your big guns when you're 3-0 up already after the first leg? I
It's
doubt
Real
it.
Madrid. It's Real Madrid.
It it is Real Madrid, but like judging by how they played in the first leg, is this really Real Madrid? Like
Yeah.
I think you'll strike a balance. I think you'll start a couple of people that we might be a bit surprised about. I can imagine him starting Saka and giving him like 55 to 60 minutes just to shake off a bit of the rust from his long injury. So I think it won't be like a complete B team, so to speak. I've actually got two more outrights, and these are proper outrights. One of them is Liverpool to go over West Ham. It's at 133, 133, 135. It's around there, so it's not particularly long. The third one is Forest to beat Everton. This one's at 210. I feel like it's a bit high. It's a bit overpriced.
Mm.
So as we know, Forest they're in form at home. They're unbeaten in 11 games at the City Ground, and 8 of those games have been wins. So I don't think it will be a necessarily easy win, given how Everton have been quite solid since Moyes came back in. But I think this one should land in the end.
Yeah, fair enough. For me, I'm actually going with the more straightforward ones, and surprisingly, I don't know what if the bookmakers are feeling generous for this game week, but even the straightforward games have pretty, good odds. Aston Villa might have lost, in midweek to PSG, but against Southampton, who are already relegated, I think even away on the road, they're going to get a win, and they are priced at 1.65, which is a giveaway to
Very
me.
high.
Yeah, very high. And Brighton also take on Leicester City, who set the record. They lost 8 straight games without scoring. You know, so I think Brighton have not been good themselves, but I think they should be able to beat Leicester City. Also priced at 1.40, and Chelsea versus Ipswich. Chelsea also have not been the best lately, but I think Ipswich at home they should be able to dispatch Ipswich easily. So those are my straight win picks for game week
So
32.
again,
Pretty
going
straightforward.
going against the almost relegated teams.
Yeah, I think those are the straightforward
Yeah.
options,
No,
and
it makes perfect sense because all three have been quite bad this season, and
exactly.
you
There's
can
three.
land a line against them on pretty much any week.
Yeah, fair enough. And moving forward, what about the over 2.5 goal market or any goal tips in general?
Yeah, I've got three here as well. The first one is for Wolves v Spurs. I'm looking at over 2.5 goals. It's at 1.66 actually, which I thought it was going to be rather 1.55, 1.57, but it's a bit higher. Spurs, they're still decent going forward, so there should be goals there. And Cunha is coming back for Wolves, and he'll have a point to prove now. And also, Strand Larsen is still in good form in front of goal. And if we look at the goals per game table, out of the 20 teams in the Prem, right? Wolves are first and Spurs are fourth in terms of the number of games with three or more goals scored. So out of 31 matches played, Wolves 22 games were over 2.5 goals and 20 games for Spurs. These are pretty high figures, especially for Spurs for Wolves. Sorry,
Oh,
it's quite surprising actually. The second one is Southampton versus Villa. Also over 2.5. As you said as well, like Villa will be hurting a bit after losing, and especially after that third goal in injury time against PSG. So I think they're going to take their frustrations out on Southampton a little bit. Um, Even if Emery rotates his entire 11, I'm still quite certain that over 2.5 lands here, especially if he rotates a lot, and if he rotates a lot in defense. Southampton have scored a few goals recently, so I don't think that they're absolutely hopeless in attack either. And
yeah.
the third one for over 2.5 is City versus Palace. It's at 1.57, and like, sure, it's not the City of old, okay? But they've steadied the ship a little bit in recent games, and I'm fairly certain they will be finding the net against Palace. And Palace themselves are good always nowadays for a goal, even two on the road.
Fair enough. For me, in the over 2.5 picks, I'm going pretty much almost similar with my picks for the straight wins. I think Brighton with Leicester, even if Leicester decide to continue their terrible record and decide not to score again, I think Brighton alone can do the damage. But if I also think this is the right game for Leicester City to at least break their terrible run and score at least a goal. I think this is the game for them. So I think over 2.5 goals. Villa we already explained why they will pour out their frustrations. They'll be looking to make a statement, get back in confidence ahead of the return leg at home. So I think they will come out guns blazing. And the third game is Newcastle and Man United. Yeah, Newcastle. Why I'm picking this game is because I mean United's defense is so bad right now that even opponents are taking a swipe at Onana these days. That's how
Yeah,
bad United are falling. And I think Newcastle, pushing for a top four spot, finding themselves in a good position, they will come all out attacking from the onset. And I think it should not to not be a game like the City one where we saw a drab draw, but to be more explosive, in my opinion.
yeah.
So yeah.